Okay, the first thing you want to think about when you're playing 2048 is to think about moving all of your pieces over into this corner square here, or any corner square. I like to think of the upper left corner. So let me show you what I mean really quick. I would hit the up arrow to move the 2's up, and then maybe the left arrow to move the 2's over to make that a 4, and then maybe up again and up again. And basically what you want to be thinking about doing while you're doing this is to have your highest value piece jammed into one corner. And while you're doing this, you want to restrict yourself to just 2 arrows. So I'm only using the up and the left arrow. So here I'll use left, and now you see I can't go up or left at this point. I'm sort of stuck, so I have to go right. And this is sort of not an ideal piece to have shown up right there, but that's okay because it's really early. So then you're going to go back left, and so you basically want to restrict yourself to just up and left movements if you can avoid anything else. So there, we're going to make that into 4. I'm going to move this 4 over and jam an 8 in there. Go left again, and now you can see that this is, I've sort of maintained the organization that I'm trying to do, which is to make this piece the highest value. So one thing that you can do when you're first starting out in the game is just basically button mash the up and the left arrow, or just 2 arrows. And so I'm going to do that now. I'm just going to slam up and left in any order pretty much, and you'll see what happens. And so what happened there is actually perfect for this demonstration. You've got your highest value piece here, and then radiating out from that, the next adjacent tiles are going to be your second highest. Radiating out from those are going to be your third highest. So you've got 16, 8, 4, and then further out is 2's. And that's kind of what you want. It makes it easy to collapse everything. So I've button mashed up to here, and I can't make any more moves. So now what I want to do, you really want to avoid going down in this case. So I'm going to hit the right arrow. Okay, now you'll see what happens is these pieces all slid to the right here, and you'll notice that if I were to go up, they all would line up, and that's really nice. We can actually do that now. It's not a big deal. But I wanted to just show you that one of the reasons why you build your board like this is so that when you actually do have to slide everything to the right, you've got a lot of options to consolidate your blocks. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go up, and then we're going to go left again and consolidate everything. So now you see we've got a nice high number here, and we can actually repeat that button mashing strategy when we kind of get it to this point. But before we do that, I want to show you one other thing, which is that when you have an empty space right here, I want you to think about this row right here as like your home. I'm calling it your home row. And if I were to come into a position where I couldn't make any more moves and I had to go right, it would be very bad to have this piece slide out of here, because another piece could appear where this one is and sort of mess up our organization. Our organization here is really dependent on having the highest value block in the upper left corner as often as possible. So what I want to do to avoid that is to basically pin this row down, and the way I'm going to do that is to move this 2 into this empty space. So I'm going to do that first, and it also consolidates some things over here, but the key here is that this is now stuck. If I were to go right, and I'll show you if I go right, the block can only appear as high as right here, okay? So I'm going to go back there. Now I'm going to button mash top and left and see how far we get using that strategy. Okay, so it got us a little bit. Now one thing you can do is go right. Okay, now you see in this case the 2 appeared here. Now this is interesting because what you really want to do is avoid locking in high value numbers, so a low value number. So I'll show you what I mean. Hopefully, let's see if I can get this to work. Okay, here we go. So I kind of just sort of did this thing, which is really stupid, but I just did it to show you. So this 2 right now is like locked in. These 8s are like guarding it, and it's going to be increasingly difficult to consolidate this and make that a good number that we can work with if we leave that sort of locked under there. So as soon as you have a block that's locked by any value, like 8 is bad, 4 is bad too, what you want to do is open that back up. So here, what I'm going to do is open it up to the right, and try and find a way to restore that 2 to something that we can work with. So in this case, I'm going to go down again, and basically what I'm going to do is keep going down until a 2 shows up in the right location. So I'll go left. Okay, there we go. So it took a little bit of work for us, but we were able to get some stacked 2s over here so that now we can consolidate those, and then we're back to order here. Now I need to pin down my home row. There, good. So now this is like a good looking board. I can do the button mashing stuff again, and you'll see pretty cool. It's just like pretty much slides right into the corner there. So that's like gonna get you pretty far. There are other things that you should think about doing, and one thing is now this sort of row at the bottom here, this home row, becomes really important to the strategy that I'm teaching you. And one thing that you really want to avoid doing is having to hit the down arrow. So let me see if I can clear this board a little bit to give you a better idea of what I'm talking about. You'll notice that when you go to consolidate, it's like almost too easy. Look at that. I didn't really do anything there, and it's already consolidated. So let's see if I can mess the board up a little bit to show you what I mean. Okay, let's say it looks, I mean, it'll never really look quite like this, but geez, it's actually hard for me to. So this is another kind of cool thing about the thing I'm teaching you, the strategy I'm teaching you. All right, well, let's do it. I'll show you it like this. Okay, this should work. So let's say you're in a position like something sort of like this. I don't know, sort of like this, and you feel like you have to, instead of going left or right, for some reason you'd have to go down. And really, this would happen if this 8 and this 2 weren't here. If this were just flat here and you couldn't go left or right, you didn't have that option. You'd only have one move, which would be down. And the reason that's bad is when you go down, a block appears on this side of the stuff. So even if you were to like return, if you were to go back up again, now you've got this really annoying block that is being guarded by these higher value things, and you have to do all kinds of stuff to get in there. So one thing that you really want to do is avoid having a flat board if you can at all avoid it. And one way to do that is to, if you think about this corner, building like a corner, you tend to have diagonals that run across like this. Okay, so that'll help you avoid that sort of big problem of locking in low value numbers. So the strategy is kind of all about avoiding locking in low value numbers. So see, in this case, this 8 is now locked in by the 16, so I would think about clearing those over and doing something else in the meantime until I knew that I could get that number bigger to sort of, you know, keep it from being locked out. So we've got 4s, I can slide the 4s over, 2s, I can sort of, there we go. So now we get 8, 16, and I want to really think about trying to get, you know, this block to 64 and then sliding that 64 over to keep it over to the side there. Okay, so let's see. Those are the main things there. Now, late in the game, I'm going to actually restart this to give you a clean board to show you, a couple of things. So I'm going to do my little corner button mashing thing. Do this, do it again. Yep, okay, that's fine. Yeah, and early on you don't have to be quite as careful because it's easier to fix mistakes. So you see that 4 is locked in there. There, now we're better. So that 32 is trying to guard those 16, so I really want to find a way to make sure that those grow, if that makes any sense. So the 4s can go in there, I can move those 16s, and now I need to get this 16 up to 32. I can do that like this. Okay, so now we're good again. Anyway, ooh, I made a big mistake there. Don't do that. Okay, so now, this is an interesting idea. I just made this mistake where I accidentally put this block here. And what I would really want to do to fix that is to basically grow this 4 into like a 128 and then consolidate them, or to possibly change my corner. So in this case, I'll just change my corner and see if I can quickly sort of fix this little problem that I've created for myself over here. So you would basically do the same thing here. I'll lock the home run there, but you're doing it in like the reverse side, if that makes sense. Okay. Yep. And so, yeah, 4th there. And you notice I'm going left and then right again. And I'm doing that because, okay, here we go. And so I'm not going to spend all this time doing it, but basically you would grow this to another 64 or 32 block, slide that 32 block over, slide the 64 down, and slide this back into the corner, and you'd sort of establish, I guess maybe I should just take the time and do this just so I can show you guys. You want to reestablish like the structure, the format there. Okay, so like that, and basically what you now have, and now I've changed the corner that I've been working with here, but you can now button mash top and right. Oh well, we're all out of stuff. You can sort of do that, and you'll see that the same sort of structure starts appearing. You've got the highest value here, and then like lower values, and it sort of goes out like that. Okay, so what you want to do, I would encourage you to avoid the temptation of collapsing these rows in too early. So right now my only move is like left and right here, so I'll do this. And now when you're really close, when you only have one space here, then you really got to start thinking about giving yourself some more space. And the way you're going to do that is to collapse some, like in this case you might collapse this row or this row left, and then try to consolidate down. So let's see what happens. well, the other thing you want to do is also think through your move, right? So if I go right here, this is going to turn into a 4. There'll be a 2 here, and there'll be another block in one of these two, which is actually good. I'll show you why. So ready? 4 here. Now if I go left again, oh, that's not exactly what I meant to do. But now if I go right again, this, oh geez, I'm just getting this all messed up. Well, anyway, I can see that I can drop this 2 in here, and then this 4, and then turn this into a 16, and sort of start to push down. And I'll see if I go down again. If I push the up arrow, I'm saying down, but it's really up. It goes like this. So you can sort of start to consolidate things away. So when you get close, when you just have like one space remaining, slow down and think about how you can create some space for yourself. The way you're going to create space is when you get multiple consolidations for just one move. So when you're very efficient with your moves, 2 for 1, you want to save moves if you can. So sometimes you might have, let me see if I can build a case. Okay, so in this case, so this isn't the perfect example. Well, let's see if I can wait until I give you. Okay, cool, here we go. So I have these 2s that I could go right here, right? But I also have these 16s and these 4s, so I know that I'm going to go up and consolidate 2 at the same time. So this isn't the perfect example, but basically what I'm saying is I don't have to consolidate up first. I can sort of go right first. See, and that's a free move because I know these ones are left. I know I can always do those. And now what ended up happening is this 2 showed up here. And now when I consolidate up, I get like 3 consolidations for the price of 1. So watch. All those consolidate. It makes it more efficient for me to do it this way. Now, yeah, so anyway, you sort of can go on from there. And basically you get the idea. So let's see, what else is left? When there's only one move left, so I'm going to actually mess up the board here. You would never want to really play like this. So this is perfect. Now, I have the option of going left here. So if I go left, this 2 will show up here, and this 2 will still be here, which means that the open space where the block will appear will be right here, and it will be either a 2 or a 4. If it's a 4, I'll immediately lose the game because I won't be able to do anything with these. The 4 can't turn into either of the 2s. But if I choose to go right, the 2 will be here, the 4 will be here, and I'll know for a fact that no matter what block shows up, I'll have at least one more move. So you'll see there's a 2 there. I can, and I'm probably going to lose here anyway, but I can do something like this. And now I can consolidate those 4s, I can consolidate those 2s. I have more options. In fact, if I consolidate these 2s, I have like a similar thing going on here. All right, so those are a bunch of basic tips. I'm going to show you one more thing. So let's get back to that little flower pattern or whatever. Whenever you have an option, so let me see if I can get to one here. Okay, here we go. So I have an option of sliding this 2 all the way over here and turning it into a 4, or sliding the 2 all the way back and turning it into a 4 here. And I would recommend that when you have the option to push it to the furthest, I'm saying back because I'm thinking about like my position being here, like I'm looking down at a game board, but you want to push it like into the deepest, like as close to the home row as possible. So I would push it up here, okay, instead of taking the choice down here. And that's because you want to have like your high value blocks kind of on the edge so that you save a lot of open space for you to operate on the board. Everything else is sort of operate in operation space, and this is like off limits. So I just want to make sure. Yep, so that's pretty much everything that I can show you. If you're interested in watching this strategy in action, you can see a game where I scored a 40-96 block. You can see this 52-044. That's just the best score from that game. So if you want to, you can click on this high score right here, this 52-044, and that will take you to a walkthrough, like just a high-speed playthrough of the game. I just sped up the tape, and I put some annotations on the side and some text so that you can sort of see what I was thinking. So click that if you're interested. Of course, you can always subscribe. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope it helped you. And go get 2048 and make your Facebook friends jealous. All right, see